Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeeps and Things. I'm Jason. This is Marshall Crawford. If you don't know him, he's got a channel called San Juan Racecrafts. He also runs the Copper Ridge Handyman and is a big-time participant in, Hiking the San Juans on Facebook? Didn't you start that one? No? Yeah? Dude, that's a pretty popular Facebook thing. So, anywho, obviously we are not installing anything or driving anything today. However, we are sitting inside of Marshall's shop, which is full of parts.
Crap.
Yeah, parts. I wouldn't say crap. He's a busy guy. I managed to steal him away from his job for a little while because, like myself, he is a gearhead. And today we wanted to talk about the electrification of the American automobile and basically what that means to us.
Yeah, basically where cars are headed right now. I mean, you're going to have cars with speakers for noise because people aren't going to get over hearing the experience with hot rods and cars. It's kind of been the last 100 years of American cultures having cars make noise. With electric cars, they don't make any noise. I was just down at All Out Call Out last weekend, and there was a Tesla down there that didn't make a sound going by. It's just kind of weird. Instant torque's great, for your performance applications, but I don't know how it's going to feel with, like, a lot of times you'll get certain sounds give you memories and stuff like that you associate with electric cars. Don't have that. So.
Basically, it's the end of a generation. I'm sure Marshall and I are going to have pretty much the same opinion, maybe some differing opinions on some parts of the subject, but I did a little bit of research as to a few different things. So obviously the electric automobile has been around for a while. Hybrids have been around forever. The biggest one, of course, being the Toyota Prius. Do you know Toyota actually had the Highlander as a hybrid?
Had several.
Pretty much the entire Toyota lineup. With
Chevy had the Silverado hybrid.
Yep. Toyota lineup with the exception of the Tacoma and the 4Runner, from my research, I could be wrong, is all hybrid options.
Toyota is actually going the other way from EV. They're actually making another gasoline engine that operates better,
really
more efficient. They were all like EV, and now they're kind of going the other way. Maybe a reason for that? I don't know.
Maybe it's an overseas thing. I'm not sure.
I honestly don't think we can support the lithium needed for all the batteries for those vehicles. Lithium's way harder to get than fossil fuels.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more expensive.
And that was actually one of my points, is the production for the batteries. It takes a lot of strip mining. Lithium, nickel, and cobalt, that's all precious metals that have to be ripped out of the earth. And strip mining is
It's a very invasive process. It destroys a lot of land. It never goes back the same. And finding techs to work on EV. When I went through automotive school, EV was something you didn't want to mess with because, one, I think it was like 10,000 volts or something like that. It's an astronomical amount of electricity that can fry your ass. And
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. I actually work at a dealership, and we had a Fiat EV in the shop, and they were replacing the battery out of it, and they had to have this whole what is it?
Like apparatus or something?
The velvet rope around the car to keep everybody that wasn't qualified away from it, because, like Marshall's saying, it's very high voltage that they're messing with.
It'll get you quick, and there's nothing you can do about it. It ain't something that, oh, you smashed your finger, or, oh, I got gas in my eye. You're dead.
But, I mean, yeah, the electric vehicle is definitely moving in pretty quick. Ford has the Mach-E, the F-150 Lightning, which is actually pretty impressive.
Not for towing, though.
No?
I know a guy in Colorado Springs, I think, has one. And he towed with it, and he was not impressed.
No?
Not impressed. Battery life, very low.
Oh. It's also the Hummer EV, the Rivian truck, which, being an off-road guy, I'm actually kind of excited about that one. It looks like it's bringing a lot to the table with its, portal through the bed. I just don't remember. Somebody will throw it in the comments if it is if it's a unibody or if it's a body on frame.
It's most likely a unibody.
Tesla is also in the running, of course. If you think electric car, you either think Toyota Prius or the Tesla, probably the Plaid Model S.
They have a lot of issues too. Like if your battery dies, you can't get in it. You can't do really anything with it. A lot of things they didn't really think through. I guess that's kind of the older ones, like 2013 and stuff like that. But
and during that time, their production quality wasn't all that great too. I heard stories of they had really big tents built out in the I want to say Arizona or California desert, but it just in the desert. that they were building these Teslas out of. So you find some older ones that have like paint problems and whatnot.
I mean, that's any car.
Yeah. Chevy Bolt has been around for a while. I also found out. What's that?
The Chevy Bolt.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that Ford made an electric E-Series van. That was kind of fun to find out. The company I work for, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, Jeep, of course, we have the 4xe, jumping into hybrids, we have the 4xe Wrangler and the Grand Cherokee. We just introduced a few other things into the market. The Pacifica hybrid, basically the whole e-torque lineup, which is basically a mild hybrid on any 3.6 liter V6 or 5.7 liter Hemi
they had it
engine.
on the 4-cylinders too on the Jeep.
Did we? No.
My buddy had one and it had instant torque.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, e-torque gives you about 70 extra foot-pounds of torque whenever you first get started from a dead stop.
That's
And
a
it
lot.
also helps boost fuel economy. Oh, yeah, yeah. And then just to continue the hybrids, you know, there's the Chevy Tahoe, Ford Fusion, Lincoln Navigator, and then all the Toyotas. So, I mean,
Quite a bit.
EV technology's definitely been around as far as the hybrids are concerned, but as far as full-on EVs, I'm a little skeptical, but I'm also a little
Right.
excited.
Well, and one of the other issues is they're closing down power plants. They don't want to go nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a real strain on the power grid.
Mhm.
You know, why haven't they designed something that charges itself as it drives? I know a lot of the older hybrids would charge
Mhm.
their own batteries. The newer EVs don't, and it's probably just for job security.
Mm-hmm. Well, some do. There is, what do we call it? Regenerative braking, whereas you take your foot off the gas, you'll start to feel the vehicle slow down. I know the
Yeah.
4xe Jeeps have it.
It charges the batteries. as
Right.
they're going,
Basically flips the electric motors backwards to generate electricity. Well, not literally flip, but you know what I mean.
Right. It breaks the magnetic field, creates
Right.
electricity, stores it in the battery.
Oh, see, he knows what I meant better than I did.
Yeah, I did go to automotive school.
See, this is why I wanted to talk with him about it. And you mentioned, you know, what they're doing to produce all the power. So I got a few numbers from 2021. So what do you think the biggest fuel source for generating electricity was
In 2021?
in 2021?
Right, cool.
Yes, sir. Right after that, natural gas at 22%, 36% for coal. Hydro, which was actually a big contender, was 15%. Nuclear at 9.8% last year.
Very cool.
Wind was 6.5, solar 3.6, just oil by itself 2.5, and other like biomass, a few different things, was only at 3.6%. But I mean, considering all those different sources, having coal as the largest producer at 36% is
It's pretty astounding.
yeesh.
And they're wanting to shut down all coal.
I understand where everybody's coming from to, you know, create a cleaner, brighter future, but
Horse and buggy.
yeah. But, you know, like you mentioned earlier, from an off-road point of view, you know, there's a lot of guys that run like RC rock crawlers,
Right.
and you can do some pretty impressive things with just that little electric motor out of those
But
things.
how are you going to get there?
Well, yeah, you drive your car, throw your little electric car out, and go crawl over the rocks. And then, you know, having the hybrids or the fully electric off-roaders, to me, actually sounds kind of fun. Being able to switch off the electric motor whenever you're going up something where you need that torque right there, definitely sounds nice. I mean, if, you know, anybody that's into off-roading knows, torque is
Right.
definitely the way to go. How's that soup?
Pretty good.
I made a Zupa for him. He just got off work, cleaned up his little bar here.
Yep.
I think it's called Zupa. I don't know. And then still on that instant torque, being able to go from 0 to 60 and oh my god,
Right.
it's also kind of nice.
Yeah, it's hard to beat. Hard to beat something that's like having nitrous on all the time.
So what do you think the future's going to, you know, foretell? I mean, obviously Dodge just announced they're getting rid of Charger, Challenger. I think the only gas thing they're going to offer for the next little while is going to be the Durango. They have the Charger, no, SRT, Dodge Charger, Daytona, EV muscle car thing that they're coming out. You mentioned the
The sound.
the sound system exhaust. I don't know how much Dodge people are going to like that. I mean, Dodge knows their people, so I don't think they would do something this risky if they didn't think it was going to go somewhere. But
Right.
It's still
or it's going to
questionable.
be mandated. They know something we don't.
True. I mean, it is a big company that's got a lot of
Right.
fingers in the government cookie jar.
It's going to be really hard to get people off of things they're used to. People don't like change. And honestly, I don't know where things are going to go.
You're thinking that maybe they're going to get rid of all the gas cars.
California's already banning new sales, or sales of used cars, I guess, of gas cars.
Really?
It's supposed to be like 2035, something like that.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
a
still
while
a few
out,
years
but
down the
yeah,
line.
there's a law that, I don't know if it passed, but there's definitely in the works for people to all out ban the sale of gas cars, which they say as California goes, the rest of the country goes, which, California opens.
By the way, this is the guy that got me into all the Jeep stuff. I've always been into off-roading and whatnot, but he took me over Animus Forks to Lake City in Uray.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah, from
Year ago.
Silverton to Lake City, Colorado. And
And
his
you bought a Jeep like the next week.
yeah. I'll put a picture of it right here. He's got a two-door JK Willys 2015,
14.
2014
Yeah, just
on
turned-
37s.
Yep, 37s. Still got the Dana 35 up front, Dana 44 in the back.
No
Limits-
trusses.
Nope.
No
Limited-
gearing.
Limited slip up front, 373s. I get about 21 miles a gallon, which is great on the Jeep.
I get 11 to 12 in my Gladiator on 37s, and I got an 8-speed.
Built a custom bumper for it. Did a custom exhaust on it. There's a couple of things, but good Jeep. I just turned 44,000 miles on it.
Nice. We'll do a walk around sometime. And he's got plans to put a V8 in it. It's what? It's kind of advanced by now.
Yeah, either a Hemi swap or an LS swap, I don't know yet, or a twin turbo 3.6 it's built, but I cannot find the support for the 3.6. Originally, the 3.6 was supposed to be a twin turbo motor.
Dodge 3.6 liter?
Yeah, the Pentastar. But what happened with that is the head casting issue. So in 2013, was it Fiat back then? No, it was
It was
whoever owned Dodge Chrysler at the time.
Daimler Chrysler.
Daimler, yeah. Had to put so much money out fixing the head issues on the 3.6 because of the sandcast problem
Just made it
that
naturally
they
aspirated.
X'd the twin turbo setup. The manifolds are built into the heads for the exhaust, and the turbos were going to bolt right to it, but pretty much X the whole.
See, I don't know this stuff. He's my mechanic friend.
I
He's
might
got a
too.
lift in the shop and everything. Anything I don't know, I
Right.
pester him.
Maybe
We did.
one day do twin turbo setup.
Yeah.
I like the way they sound.
There is a company out there. I'm sure you heard of Brick Superchargers. They have a whole supercharger kit.
Yeah, so it's
Supercharger kit.
Centrifugal
Mhm.
supercharger. Yep.
Only problem with that is you have to take your CPU and send it to, I believe, Florida? If I remember
You can
correctly.
get it tuned locally if you want it.
Yeah, but for their whole kit, turnkey operation. I don't remember how much it costs. I think it's like $3,000 for the kit, and you have to have it installed, and you also have to ship your CPU off. But you could locally have it tuned, which is definitely a benefit. But yeah, I don't know if a local tune would play as nice as the guys that made the kit.
Well, a local tune's going to be better just because of the elevation difference.
True.
Florida's at sea level. Here in Farmington, we're at 5,600 feet. 54 to 5,600 feet elevation. That's a big difference. If you go up another 5,000 feet, you can around 10,000 feet, you run out of breath really quick. So if you're having it tuned locally, you're going to have the advantage of it being more spot on than at sea level.
Gotcha. Your major conclusion. Obviously, we're both not 100% for it.
Right. I think it's useful, but I don't think it's the only option. I think they need to pursue hydrogen. They need to pursue synthetic
Well, I definitely
fuels that will
say-
work in the older gasoline engines. I mean, which they have. I mean, ethanol, but it eats up farming for food. Corn.
Right.
So,
Well, they did ethanol. They had all the flex fuel vehicles, and you see how far
Right.
that went.
right.
Plus, it rots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that
goes
was
bad.
the worst thing.
It goes
Before,
bad real quick. It'll rot out your whole fuel system too.
before working at a dealership, I was a small engine tech, and like he said, he's worked on all
Yeah,
kinds of cars.
carburetors and ethanol,
Ugh.
they don't mix.
I call it molasses or syrup. Either or. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it goes bad quick, so you gotta keep using it.
My only concern with hydrogen is if somebody makes a halfway decent hydrogen-powered car, we probably won't hear from that person ever again.
It's already happened.
I know.
I don't know the specific scenarios, but yeah, it's already happened.
There's a gentleman, was it in the 70s? Made a buggy that ran purely on water?
I don't know. The only problem is the water vapor. If we can figure out how to get a lot of the water vapor out of the atmosphere, you know, we're not going to have the rising temperatures every year. That's our main concern. If they're running cars on hydrogen, I don't know if they're going to produce water vapor as an oxide or as a byproduct or not. I just don't know. But that's kind of why the whole reason they're going down the whole EV thing is emissions.
Right.
Carbon dioxide. I mean, it's not even really carbon dioxide that's causing the problem. It's water vapor, methane, which cars don't put off methane. Cows do.
Speaking
So
of
we.
the change in temperature, like I mentioned earlier, you did all or not all, but a majority of the 14ers up in the Colorado area. In your experience, do the glaciers around the lakes, do they seem like they're getting less and less? No? We went up to Clear Lake the other day, and I kind of remember the glacier being bigger, but whenever I was younger, we might have gone up earlier in the season.
Right.
I mean, there's definitely still snow up there, but I don't remember if it's as much as it was as...
Yeah, no, they're about the same. The only thing that's really changed is the rain. We don't get as much rain as we used to.
Yeah, and as we're filming this, it's raining its ass off.
It's raining its ass off, and it usually doesn't rain its ass off at this time of year. And it has been for the last month and a half or so.
I've been praying for the flood, honestly. Dude, I love driving me through some really
The thing with Earth, though, is it goes through these cycles of, you know, the summer, the fall, all of it rotates and it changes, and it goes forward, and it goes backward, and it moves around, and your seasons change. And North America's been in a 1,000-year drought. We don't even really know what North America was like when it actually had rain, like earlier.
Fair enough. So you're saying hydrogen, fuel supplements,
or
replacers, not
electric.
supplements?
I mean, we're not going to solve the problem with one thing, and everybody's going for the one thing, and then it's going to bottleneck, and it's going to cause problems, and people do that.
Speaking of,
They don't try to make a backup plan for a backup plan for backup. They're like, oh, this is what we're going to do now. That's what they do.
Well, the backup is always going to be fossil fuels. It's a reliable source.
Hopefully. And maybe they can find a way to create fossil fuels. I know it takes a lot of pressure and it takes a lot of time. It's organic material that is decomposed.
We can make diamonds.
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe they can create... Don't know the whole reasoning behind the whole just electrification thing. Especially because our infrastructure cannot handle it. Like, Europe's having problems now because Russia's cut off their gas supply. They're getting ready to freeze this winter and they're freaking out.
True.
Like, that's got to say something. They don't have the infrastructure either. But everybody's pushing the EV this. But, you know, shoot, we might even go back to where you don't travel anymore because you're stuck where you're at.
Right. And I know Jeep is making some big steps to make solar charging stations for the Jeeps, but have you seen how long it takes for a solar battery to charge?
All day.
About all day.
Yeah.
And,
and
granted,
you only go like 100, 200 miles.
Right. Yeah.
It'll take a long time to get to the East Coast.
In fully electric, it takes, I think it's like a 29-mile range for a Wrangler, and a little bit more for the Grand Cherokee. But, you know, it's new technology. One other cool thing. Yeah. Well, you know, you can run them both together. But one other cool thing is you have that battery pack down low, which gives you a lower center of gravity. But on the subject of that battery pack, they only got an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
And it probably cost bukus.
Right. I have no idea what a battery pack costs. I don't want to think about it. And if they're going to go forward with fully electric, like they recently introduced, they recently announced the Recon Jeep. Have you seen that?
I've not seen that one, though.
So it was at the the Detroit Motor Show.
Yeah.
It's a fully electric 4x4 vehicle capable of the Rubicon Trail. I'll put a picture right here. It's fully independent suspension from what the renders look like. There's no like working concept that anybody has seen yet, but they have a lot of renders and whatnot. The roof comes not really off. It's more of a full fold back. From what I remember, the doors come off. It kind of looks like a Jeep Commander, in my opinion. Not like a old 1970s Commander, but like a 2010 Commander.
Yeah, they're square body.
Right. So
the thing that I don't understand is that back in, say, 50s, 60s, 70s, the cars were relatively simple, but the engineering behind them was very great. Minds like could make things work, right? And today you have all the computers and this and that, but they're not good at making shit work.
Yeah. Everything
breaks. Everything, like, they'll design something and then, oh, this doesn't quite work right. We gotta start over. It's like, but these guys 50, 60, 70 years ago, would do this all day long, and that shit still works.
Well, Marshall, I appreciate your time. Do you have anything to say in conclusion?
Nope, been great. I mean, I think we've covered everything we know about EV and where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody really knows. Take it for a ride.
I got your spider, buddy.
Sweet.
Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope to get this guy on camera some more. Like I mentioned, he's the guy that got me into four-wheeling. I'd really like to go do some more Jeeping with him on video.
Be fun.
If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. If you like this, hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your thoughts are in this style of video. I would sure love to do some more back and forth banter with specifically this guy, because him and we just got this chemistry.
Like, share, and subscribe. Support this guy.
Make sure to check out San Juan Racecrafts.
Yeah. Somewhere over there. Interwebs. The internets.
Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you on the trail.
Jeeps and things.